the police have said. The context of the conversation remains unclear, but the girl is now living in California, according to the Kansas City Star. The girl's grandfather, John Kavanaugh, told the Star the girl was simply mouthing off. Arrests of children have skyrocketed over the last decade. That's according to the latest statistics published by the FBI. These statistics, compiled from 2013 to 2018, revealed more than 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested, averaging more than 6,000 kids per year. Equally disturbing is students 10 to 12 years of age topped 266,000. Activist Post reports that in the past, students and children were disciplined with consequences such as timeout and paddling. But as more and more schools replace handling things internally with external police state options like school resource officers, children are ending up with arrest records and their fingerprints stored in databases. Often referred to as the school-to-prison pipeline, the principal players in the funneling of kids from school to jail are the school resource officers. What may seem like routine policing or modern-day policing methods to some, others see as a human rights violation, a slippery slope leading to a criminal life and a poor use of school resources. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Shortly after having sexual intercourse with a prostitute earlier this afternoon, local man Jacob Reynolds told reporters that he never expected the experience would bring him to new heights of emotional and spiritual fulfillment.
I was convinced that having sex with a complete stranger behind my wife's back would leave me feeling drained and empty on the inside, but my self-esteem is through the roof.
Reynolds, who said he paid $150 for a 30-minute block of time, said that his moderate expectations for the encounter were instantly surpassed by what turned out to be a deeply personal sexual communion that transported him to a new plane of emotional intimacy.
I've never felt a stronger sense of spiritual connection. When our bodies met, there was an immediate sense of familiarity and comfort that just washed over me. I think it was the most meaningful experience of my life.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, live Sunday edition. It's Mark with you.
Richie Rich.
And the Captain.
And we kicked Ian out for the night, and it's going to be a lot more fun.
Much better show tonight.
I'm telling you.
I'm stoked to be here.
Let's get right into the show prep. Apparently, they have developed a marijuana breathalyzer.
You know, this is something that has scared me for a very long time because when
it was coming.
When they first started legalizing marijuana, I predicted that the next thing that was going to happen was they were going to have roadside blood tests, because the blood test is the only real way that they could tell if you're, actually on marijuana.
I don't think that they were ever I just don't think there's enough states out there that trust their police enough to give roadside blood tests.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have to be medically trained and I don't know, but I certainly wouldn't want police stabbing me in the arm to draw my blood.
Right.
That sounds like a horrible idea, but
it's a really bad idea.
I just figured it was coming, but apparently, worry not. They've apparently, manufactured a way to have a marijuana breathalyzer. This is from the Sacramento Bee. The title is "Driving While Stoned. Marijuana Breathalyzers Expected to Hit the Street in 2020."
Now, this is important because as I think most people know, marijuana, if you smoke it, can stay in your system, stored in fat cells, for up to 30 days.
Oh, I think it's 90 days or something like that.
Yeah. But the reality is let's say you smoke like a broke microwave for a year, and in that year you put on a great deal of weight. So every day you're smoking all day. It's every day, all day.
Eating the Doritos afterward,
doing the
putting on
whole
pounds.
deal, and getting fat. And then you decide, I'm going to clean up my life, and I'm going to do better. As you lose that weight, that these markers that they look for begin to get released into you're not stoned.
Is that what the breathalyzer is going to test for, though? That's what my question
I can't imagine it would.
No, I don't think that is the case. But we can get into it. The article says drivers suspected of being high on pot may soon face the same type of roadside breath test cops use to catch drunken drivers, as several firms prepare new devices for the street. Hound Labs of Oakland expects to have a marijuana breathalyzer ready by the second half of 2020, according to Mike Lynn, a medical doctor and co-founder of Hound Labs.
So could this be a good thing? I mean, I guess one of the biggest arguments against legalizing marijuana that come from the folks out there is that people are going to drive stoned, and now
they already do.
They do,
sure,
but nobody talks about making alcohol illegal because people drive drunk.
Right.
I mean,
the fact that they're doing this and thinking about implementing it to law enforcement, it's like they're treating it as if there's hundreds of thousands of drivers who are stoned and like killing people with, getting it. No, that's not what's happening. I mean, if anybody who's ever smoked marijuana or been around people who do, and if, they smoke some marijuana and then they go drive a vehicle, they're probably more careful and far safer.
That's been played out in studies as well.
And so, like, I don't understand what their leverage is to actually do this, right? With alcohol, I get it. Your driving is impaired, right? The more you drink, right?
The more risks you take.
Yeah, you're a lot riskier,
But even the alcohol level, the legal alcohol limit is much lower of a tolerance than actually being a drunk driver.
That's true.
Well, so, it depends on the studies, right? Like different people react differently to levels of alcohol, and they're trying to find things out. I'm not saying it's a good idea to drive. I don't know. What I believe is that if you're driving recklessly or dangerously, we have laws for those, and let's do that. I don't think that there's anything particularly evil about imbibing alcohol and getting behind the wheel as compared to, say, being too tired or, looking at your phone and texts and, doing all the things that, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, are done all the time on the roads.
Every day, for sure.
I think it's Mississippi. Don't quote me on that. We can look it up later. I think Mississippi, you can have an open beer container in your vehicle.
It used to be true in Montana, but this is, again, this is not legal advice.
Okay.
But I've got to say, if you're below the level, if you're below the limit, who cares whether you have an open beer in your car? This is just a reason to toss a car.
Right.
Ultimately is what it's all about.
Which is why I have the fear about the marijuana one, because you said, like, is it a good idea? And I can see the argument where it would be a good idea, but it's just going to be used as an excuse to get it.
I, however, cannot. I don't see how having a marijuana breathalyzer would be a good idea. They're presupposing driving while stoned is somehow unsafe without actually presenting any evidence to prove this.
That's the argument that would be a good idea, right? Is that it is dangerous to drive stoned. It is a detriment on the road. So there are going to be people out there who are saying, yes, we want to know if people are driving stoned, regardless of whether or not they're right. But that would be the argument that's made. So I get the argument, but I also don't think it's a good idea.
So I've seen the studies, and I've seen I've seen some video on this, and more or less, if people get sufficiently stoned, they're terrible on the road. But usually they know that they're sufficiently stoned and they do not want to get on the road, right? Like there's a big difference between these two drugs. If you've had too much to drink at least one time in your life, but you've never had too much marijuana to smoke, if you've never been stoned, then you don't know what this is like. And it's completely different. And I would say from a societal level, we'd probably be better off if we used marijuana on the regular as opposed like alcohol, and alcohol was this thing that we kept sort of on the sideline that was illegal.
Oh yeah, I've said for years that if marijuana enjoyed the widespread use that alcohol enjoys, that society would be a much friendlier place in general.
As a matter of fact, I worked at a prison at one point. One of the guys that worked there, I was in the prison, but anyway, I worked there too. One of the guards said, I think y'all should get an ounce of weed every inmate every week.
would
And-
calm the population down.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, would it be better for everybody? Sounds like it might. Does it really matter otherwise? I mean, so, but more or less you get the two folks out there that, any enjoyment that any convict gets is bad, or the people that are like, marijuana is from the devil, and that's basically all there is.
Maybe that's what we get nobody to for a campaign promise, right? Free ounce of weed for everybody if I'm elected.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know whether you could even do it.
Berman
Yeah.
Supreme's giving out free ponies.
Yeah.
What's an
Maybe
ounce of
they
weed?
could run together and it'd be like ponies and weed.
There you go.
You could just say that medical card for everybody
Those are so easy to get. They're
in California.
okay.
not in New Hampshire.
I haven't had to look here, but I've had friends in Hawaii with the medical card that had no business. Like they smoked weed, they had no business with a medical card. They just had one,
Right.
because that's what you do when you want to smoke weed and not get busted.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Before it was, we'll say legalized, I like to say government approved. In Seattle, they had the legal marijuana thing, and so people would get cards for no actual ailments.
Sure. And now they don't have to.
Right.
Which is generally a better thing. Let's go to Wallace calling in from Missouri. Listen to KWTO. Wallace, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, folks, you really ought to see if you can find somebody in your area you can bring to your online table there with law enforcement backing and some experience maybe in law enforcement to represent, so to speak, because it's the same old patchwork across the country that it ever was. I went to renew my license the other day.
Yep.
A few weeks ago, and I had no idea, but years ago, when I was in another state, southeast, I had some parking tickets that had languished, and they hadn't been notified me or made an effort to search me, although they had my driver's license number
Parking tickets.
and knew the state, thus they could have sent me mail about it. But it didn't pop up until I went to renew my license.
A parking ticket's
And
not
then
supposed to be a moving violation and shouldn't be attached to your license, as I understand it.
Yeah. Especially out of state.
That's
Probably
really
depends
weird.
on the state.
Wallace, hold the line, would you?
Well,
Just hold the line, please.
All right.
The number, 855-450-3733. Have you ever heard of this, that the idea that a parking ticket would somehow be attached to your driver's license? 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission. Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Our history classes start teaching the Constitution around 1776 or even later. The foundation of our Constitution goes deeper than that. Without examining the context that gave America its principles and its founding documents, we cannot understand the foundation of our liberty and our constitutional republic. Liberty First University teaches online classes in a way that all ages find compelling and understandable, from middle school to law school. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Federal authorities are currently on high alert in Washington, D.C., following reports that hundreds of crazed sociopaths infiltrated the congressional chambers this morning. Mary Canley, a Capitol employee who managed to escape the House chambers, described the troubling scene to reporters.
I saw all of them. About 400 to 500 completely deranged people just rambling on about guns, the military, and money.
Investigators say the lunatics, many of whom are believed to suffer from severe personality disorders, have locked themselves in the chambers for hours now, with no clear purpose or reasoning.
I looked at one of them right in the eyes, and it was like he was empty on the inside, devoid of any emotion or feeling. It was horrifying. It's only a matter of time before they do something that really hurts someone.
We believe these men to be manipulative and extremely dangerous. Luckily, they are also very disorganized, and there is a chance they may never be able to ever take any action at all. For more on this developing story, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20, mymagicmud.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
Richie Rich.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Captain Kickass sitting in with us. You may have heard of Chris Ann Hall, and she's the former Florida attorney and former prosecutor fired after teaching the Constitution. Even though she was ordered not to by her boss, State Attorney Skip Jarvis, she would not stop and stood up for liberty over a paycheck. Watch the replay of our webinar with Chris Ann Hall for free at lfu.freetalklive.com. I watched this thing. It was awesome. Chris Ann is a disabled veteran of the U.S. Army, a Russian linguist, a mother, and a patriot, a brilliant woman, and knows her stuff about the Constitution. She now travels the country and teaches the Constitution and the history that gave us our founding documents. Chris Ann Hall doesn't just teach the Constitution, she lays the foundations that show how reliable and relevant our founding documents are today. She presents the genealogy of the Constitution, the 700-year history, and 5 foundational documents that are the very roots of American history. Her belief is that you cannot properly understand or interpret the Constitution without a firm grasp of its very foundation. To learn more about Liberty First University and watch this free webinar on demand, visit lfu.freetalklive.com. That's LFU as in Liberty First University, lfu.freetalklive.com. This is a limited time offer, so go watch now, lfu.freetalklive.com. Let's go back to Wallace, who had a very odd situation in so much as he was denied renewal of his driver's license because of parking tickets. And to me, I don't think they're moving violations, so that shouldn't be possible. But Wallace, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just I'm surprised at what I'm hearing.
Name the state.
Georgia.
There you go.
South Carolina.
Well, you're talking to a guy from Florida, and I mean, we have this bias. There's always these interstate rivalries out there. So my dad taught me when I was growing up that you always went the speed limit in Georgia because those state troopers are out there looking to put a tax on anybody who's passing through.
And that could be what happened.
Oh, yeah. I had the same dad. Same deal. But you see, they've been playing the game longer than we have.
Yeah. So Wallace, tell us a little bit.
You ever been like after dark slightly, trying to make a certain restaurant that you see on your map, and highway suddenly becomes a main street in a town?
Oh yeah.
So you slow, right?
Yep. There's usually
And
posted speed
typical
limits letting you know to
speed-
slow.
Yes. Okay. And typical speed through a town is what?
Ridiculously slow.
40, 35.
34, yeah.
Small towns, 25.
Like 35, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go under 35, and
I
your
already don't
high
like you.
beams and everything trying to drift through quietly so as not to disturb any of the sleeping people, and you're about out of town, and pop goes the weasel, and you get a ticket for being 2 or 3 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Pop goes the
Which
weasel.
you find out if you go back and look during daylight hours, there was a sign, but it was a Metro provided one, and it wasn't all that obvious really, but it was visible legally, and of course the court thought so too.
Oh, of course.
So anyway, but even though I had a home state driver's license, they didn't notify me about it.
So this was a speeding ticket, then not a
until
parking ticket. Just to get back
well,
on track.
that one was one.
Okay.
Right, yeah. But anyway, so the point is, they waited until years later when I went to renew my license to block that process.
Yeah, I had that happen to myself in another state, Washington State, as a matter of fact. I hit some ice, I rolled my vehicle, and they gave me a ticket for driving with wheels off the roadway for an unknown reason, and it carried a fine of, I don't know, $105 or something like that. I didn't pay it, and then years later I went to renew my license, and they were like, oh, by the way, sir, you have this unpaid fine, and so we can't renew your license until you've paid.
How many years later when you tried to renew your license?
I think it was 3 years.
Does that stuff
Right.
eventually fall off? Like if you is there a statute of limitations?
I would presume not, but if it, if
well,
they
the thing
just
is,
forgot.
Yeah, but the thing is, it isn't Missouri. It's the state where it occurred.
Right.
So I have to call long distance and talk to the court.
Well, because they're all interconnected.
Send them a telegram.
Well, wait a minute. Say about paying the fine. Okay? But there's a couple of separate issues in a couple of separate states. I was a younger man. I was much busier, moving faster.
Well, now you're a much
These
wiser
things
man who can afford to pay.
accumulated. What?
I said, well, now you're a much wiser man who can afford to pay.
You would think if I could just get back to work, which I have a job opportunity, but requires me to have a driver's license.
Of course.
Oh, God.
Right? Yeah. You're really in the what do they call it? Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Any of you perhaps have parents that may remember Vietnam, know what a catch-22 is.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, I'm the host here that
So
doesn't have a
anyway-
driver's license at all. So whenever that comes up during the interview process, I go, I can get to work and I can get to wherever you need to be by whenever you need me to be there. Just don't ask me how. I will be there on time.
That's a shrewd way to be, I think, sir.
And it doesn't always work out, right? There's some jobs go, well, you have to have the license. We need it. But it's also like not a document that I provide for employment anymore. Like that's one of the standard things that they ask for. I've got my other documents together where it doesn't come up.
I just wish to relate a image that comes to mind. Think of any World War II memory where Allied operatives are behind German lines and prompted to produce papers under gunpoint.
Yep.
And just let that image sink.
Your papers, please.
Thanks for the call, Wallace. Appreciate it. And good luck. This is not the most fun to deal with. I think that people who are driving without driver's licenses, in probably most cases, are some of the safest people on the road because they're trying really hard not to get into a chit chat with a police officer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a much safer driver, I think, without having a driver's license than I was with one.
Yep.
Well, and then you have the whole, the state licensing is when the state takes away, right, sells it back to you.
Right, that's what licensing is.
You got to pay for the license. And then when you get a ticket, they withhold that right again so that they can extract more money from you.
Sure. You tell me, what do you think about driver's licenses? What's the value of these things? The number is 855-450-3733. I threw a rod in my car one time. The police officer pulls over to help me, but asked me for my license in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Free Talk Live. What had I done? Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love,
and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way.
Love as your guide.
And liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about what you want to talk about. We're talking about, well, right now, tickets. Driving on the road, and there's apparently a new marijuana breathalyzer system that's coming out. Should be in a police department near you in the very near future.
More tickets.
Right, tickets. That's what keeps us going here.
The lifeblood of government.
I want to tell you about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is really the premier source in the world for cryptocurrency, news, adoption, these sorts of things. You go to this is the place to start, and if you're into cryptocurrency, you definitely want to be signed up for their RSS feed for their news too. They got a great Telegram channel if you prefer that method. I do. So go to Bitcoin.com. I think the best place to do is get started right there. And you can purchase Bitcoin Cash from them with your credit card. You can get a wallet there. It's a great wallet. I've used it. It's getting better all the time. It's Bitcoin.com. They are... they're the premier source.
Pretty great for entry level, too. Like my friends who know that I'm into Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies who are like, what is that about? Go to Bitcoin.com.
Now, we were talking about tickets here and parking tickets specifically and how they might go on your record. And first off, I don't think a parking ticket generally will go on your record. Certainly, your jurisdiction, there may be some strange things that happen.
It carries on with the car, at least in Hawaii.
That's my understanding of how it is. It's on the car. And one of the reasons for that is that they really don't have any proof who parked it.
Yep.
So I took a ticket. A parking ticket. It's a $5 ticket here in Keene, New Hampshire, mind you.
I thought they doubled it.
It's 10 now.
Okay.
But it was $5 at the time. I went there, and I'm like, can y'all prove that I parked this car? Like, that's kind of what the Constitution's about. And the local prosecutor trots out this law. It says that you shall not, allow, suffer, or permit someone to park your car illegally. So basically,
wow,
you become responsible. According to this, isn't constitutional, but who's going to take a $5 parking ticket to the Supreme Court? And who knows how it's going to go? You never know how it's going to go.
Did you tell him that you didn't allow it and he parked it without your permission?
I attempted to, they got me on the stand and said, did somebody steal your car? And I'm like, no. Okay, well, whatever. And so what I did after that is I put a piece of paper, and I've got it from like 2013 or something. This piece of paper is in my car. It says, I do not allow, suffer, or permit anyone driving this car to park it illegally. So now I've got a piece of paper, right? And these people love these government bureaucrats, they love their pieces of paper because that's what they do, right? They get elected by telling a series of lies. And then once they get in there, they pass a few laws, and it's all legal until you're told that it's illegal once you're a government bureaucrat. So, well, here's a piece of paper. And you know what? I had, just for the sake of it, I had 2 witnesses sign it.
Nice.
And date it. There you go.
And is it like posted in your car now?
Oh, what difference does it make? I got a piece of paper. And it looks old.
Okay, all right. I was just thinking of
Printed on
how
parchment?
they sign. They like in the instance of the previous caller who said, "Well, I guess there was a sign that said, but it was kind of hard to see." Like, no, it's posted in my car, Your Honor. Right? I have a sign that says, "I do not."
Maybe that's what I have to do next.
Or have whoever borrows your car sign it, like a little library checkout card or something.
Now, I have had tickets since then, and I haven't taken the time to go to court over a $5 ticket because I simply am...
You're missing out on all the fun.
Well, I don't consider it fun, and that's really the issue, is that for me, I don't want to give that... for $5, you're telling me I can pay you $5, and I don't have to sit in court for 2.5 hours. And by the way, on this particular ticket, they drew me in court 2 times. once for this sort of arraignment thing and then once for the trial, and a $5 ticket that everybody knew they were going to find me guilty on, right? And they, here we go, this whole rigmarole. As I understand it, I could have waived the arraignment, but I didn't know that. I'm inexperienced in this way, so they love to waste your time.
Yep.
They're gonna get their $5 if they only get it in you sitting there.
If they only have to spend $120 to get it,
right? They don't care.
For you, it's not a prosecution fee; it's a prostitution fee, right? Because it's the old joke about why do men pay prostitutes? They pay them to leave. They don't actually pay them for the sex. They pay them to leave. So what you're paying the government for is to leave you alone.
Right? That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, I just don't want to deal with the rigmarole. And for $5, if I don't deal with the rigmarole, then it seems like it's worth it.
That's how they get you.
Yep, that is
well,
indeed.
for just 40% of your paycheck, we'll leave you alone too.
Yep, right? That's the whole shebang.
That's the whole shebang. That's why even for $5, even for something small that you're probably going to lose on, right? I like to fight all those little things.
Yep,
all the time.
If you get a hobby, I say go for it.
Yeah,
that's it. That for
if
a long
you've got
time,
that kind of free time as well, like do it. Oh
no, there's no free time. I missed work, but on principle, fight everything, right up into the bitter end.
So, a marijuana breathalyzer. I've got to say that I kind of think that this is, well, I certainly knew it was coming, and I'm not going to say it's a good idea, but I think it's better than this whole spooky bugbear idea that, whoa, they're all over the place. Well, now the police have a tool, and they can determine who's, stoned and driving or whatever. I will say this about a breathalyzer. If you are stopped and asked to give a breathalyzer, first off, almost every lawyer will tell you not to do it. I don't know why that is. I can't really understand why they would not want you to take a breathalyzer.
False positives.
But one of the biggest problems with false positives is what they call mouth alcohol. If you were to take a shot of whiskey, even the smallest shot of whiskey, right? Let's call it a third of a shot of whiskey. We know that is not over the legal limit. And then blow into a breathalyzer. You're going to blow that thing up.
Right. It shows you over because it's fresh. It's just the concentration of alcohol in your mouth is what's triggering.
Right. So most people, I think, ride around. I ride around very often with a bottle of water in the car. Sometimes it's a little warmer than I would like.
I thought you were going to say I ride around very often with a bottle of whiskey in my car.
I do not.
For a while, I had some rum in my trunk.
It really fits poorly. You got to get a special cup with a straw for that because it fit the bottle of Jack. It's square. It doesn't fit into the cup holder. It's just not appropriate. I like to put iced tea in a old bottle of Jack, and that just really
just mess with him.
No, I don't.
So, pull up next to the cop at the stoplight and just start chugging.
Evening, officer.
That is probable cause. So
it's also probable fun.
That would be fun. That would be one that you take all the way.
It's tea. You want some?
They're going to confiscate your bottle. They're going to have to take it to the lab and spend the money to test it.
Only to find out it's Lipton.
Those tiny little tea leaves. So, right. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you get your mouth rinsed out, and I would recommend water because, well, I recommend water drinking generally. Even if your bottle's somewhat warm, suffer through, man. Swish it around, swallow it, and that way beforehand you would have washed it out. Look, if you've been drinking, it's probably better to not blow. If you know you're over the limit, it's probably better to not blow than it is to blow. But if you haven't, I can see why you're going to sit there and, but you may be in a situation where you did have a drink and you don't want that mouth alcohol thing to be happening.
See, I don't drink and I still don't blow. Right? They're like, well, if you don't do the breathalyzer, you're going to jail for the night.
Right, and your license could be suspended too. Right?
Well, but I wasn't getting pulled over for drunk driving. I was getting pulled over for something else.
Yep.
Right.
And then we smell alcohol, and like, no, you don't, because I don't even drink. But would you like to do the breathalyzer? No, I would like to go to jail and not do any of that.
But you don't have a driver's license. I mean,
this was when I did.
Okay,
at one point I did.
I see.
Okay.
When I had the driver's license, I didn't have a safety inspection or registration, so they pulled me over anyway.
But on the false positive bit, I've been told, and maybe you've heard the same. I haven't read anything recently where breath freshener, Banaka.
Oh, sure.
Can trigger the
alcohol
breathalyzer.
Absolutely.
Don't rinse your mouth out with Listerine.
Yeah, you don't want to do that ahead of time.
Right.
Also, the roadside sobriety test, that thing's complete crap.
Oh, yeah, it's a dance.
Yeah, it's absolute. It's a rigged game. Don't play that one.
They might as well ask you to break dance on the side of the road.
855-450-3733.
This is Fred. Hi, I'm Fred. Fred's a repeater. I tend to repeat. Fred has a business. I do have a business. And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work. Over and over. But Fred is about to see a vision. I'm seeing a vision. Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about what you want to talk about. I think we're just generally talking about on the road, tickets,
road
maybe
pirates,
impairment. those kind of things. It's Mark with you.
Richie Rich.
I'm the captain.
855-450-3733. And, I mean, this is something that's relevant to the vast majority of people's lives. You're tootling along out there. Maybe it's been years since you've been pulled over, and then something happens and the lights switch on and boop, boop, you're getting pulled over. And one thing I've got to say is that sort of a new thing, at least new to me, is the idea of pulling somebody over on the side of the road. And I mean, they'll be actually in a lane of traffic in some cases. Rather than finding a place that's safe for everybody to be.
Oh, no. See, I prefer that. And when they pull me over, I try to make it as dangerous as possible for them.
Oh, God.
Like,
I don't want the guy knocked into a ditch.
No, I do. Totally do. So whatever lane I'm stopped in, I will be as far to the left of that lane as possible, because you usually get pulled over to the right, and I will not talk to that officer out of the right side of my car. I'll roll down the window. I'll tap on this side. He'll come to the right side of the car. I'm like, come over here. I'm on the left. And I will make him stand in the lane of traffic as cars blow by him, because I want to make his day as miserable as he's currently making mine. And I encourage that sort of behavior as often as possible. Make him remember you, so he doesn't want to stop you, and he thinks twice about pulling the next guy over.
You've got a great heart, Rich.
I appreciate that.
So where are these breathalyzers being rolled out, and do we expect them to? These are marijuana breathalyzers.
Yeah, 2020, according to the article.
Yeah.
The article kind of goes on. Hound Labs of Oakland expects to have a marijuana breathalyzer ready by the second half of 2020.
Okay, so that's 2021.
Right. Both of the developers mentioned in the article also see uses for the devices on job sites to ensure workplace safety. Okay. Again, this is, are you too high to work? How do you prove that? I don't know.
In radio, they don't.
In restaurants either. I don't.
If they would have fired DJs at the radio stations I worked at, they wouldn't have anybody.
And same with line cooks, man.
Yeah, same with restaurants, right? All that delicious food you get at restaurants.
Absolutely.
Is made by stoners.
I'm afraid. I mean, the disc jockey had something worked out with the pizza delivery guy. The pizza delivery guy would come, bring the pie, and then they'd go out back. I mean, I'd stay. I was a single guy as working in the sales department, and I'd stay late in a lot of cases. They don't care how late you're at the radio station. It's not somebody in there 24 hours a day, and. The later guys knew how to have a good time.
Graveyard people know how to party.
Right. And they'd end up out back, and it's the whole,
I worked the lunch shift, man, and sometimes, depending on how busy it was, if it got a little too stressful, cooks would walk out back, smoke a bowl real quick, calm themselves, come back in, and bust out the rest of the day.
If you're currently a cook in a restaurant and, you find the job stressful, you're having a hard time dealing with it, and you really would like to smoke marijuana on the job, I'm told by other people in the restaurant industry that the place to go is the walk-in cooler. Because apparently you can, smoke a joint or whatever in there. They've got all the fans in the world sucking the air out.
I see.
The cold air immediately
makes your nose not work as well.
Right, and it also makes the smoke that you exhale, sort of because it's warm,
crystallize a little bit. Yeah,
it flows, into the vent fans and up and out. Right,
yeah.
And anybody who walks in, they can't smell it.
Oh, see, they just went out the back door and no one cared.
I would think with these new vape things, as long as you don't get one of these with a vitamin E in it that kills you dead, watch out for that stuff, people. The vape stuff is really black market marijuana stuff. And by the way, this is caused by government.
Absolutely.
And I think that it makes this smoking at work thing, or consuming marijuana thing at work, a heck of a lot easier for people. I mean, there are...
Until
at
they start banning
a majority
vapes.
of states have medical, and there's a lot of recreational states at this point.
Until they start banning vapes in workplaces, right? Like, it was like, oh my God, you vape? Yeah, I can do it right at my desk.
Oh, and people were doing that too. And then workplaces started making policies against having vape.
It's Chad's fault. right? Like, so Chad had to get the the battery the size of a V8 can, and like he looks like a steam engine over there, chugga 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 chugga, and just and then you walk through the cloud. It smells like Kool-Aid and tiramisu, and you're like, I just wanted a donut. I blame Chad.
It's possible.
And then he gets upset and he punches a hole in the wall.
Because vapes like went from your tiny electronic cigarette that looked like a cigarette to this big, massive
I blame
device.
that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The whole cigarette that looked like a cigarette thing, like that really was a big problem in the minds of the people that hate cigarette smoke. There's a relatively good percentage of the population, and many of them are people like me, ex-smokers.
Okay.
That have turned their sort of their positive choice to this sort of destructive hate of cigarettes and anybody who consumes them. And their cigarettes are bad, but there are a lot of really good people who participate in this, habit, this choice that I do not support. And if those people have houses, cars, and businesses in which they wish to smoke, that's their human right. If you want to tell them they can't do that, you're a rapacious, petty tyrant.
Yeah, indeed.
But their right to smoke ends at my nostrils, Mark.
It does. Take your nostrils out of their business. Take your nostrils out of their house. Don't put your nostrils in their car. I mean, agreed, your nostrils are your nostrils, and you should be able to turn down the Uber driver that smokes.
Yeah, the fundamental there is, of course...
There should be a smoking Uber. There should be Smoober.
Smoober. Nice.
What about just smoking in public places then? And like walking down the street from their house to their car?
Well, is it in the public?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Who owns the public?
Unfortunately, we all do.
Okay, so
well, I don't know that that's even true.
Right? So if nobody owns the public, then you can do whatever you want in the public.
You should be able to.
I think if everybody realized that the government owns the public,
yes,
and not the public, we shouldn't use the term public. These are government spaces, not public spaces.
Okay.
And when you realize that, then at the very least, you're like, these are the people that make the rules for this space, and do we want to entrust them with any more space?
Okay.
And I'd say the answer is no. If you don't like the smell of cigarettes, smoke, and if you're talking about secondhand smoke, that is the problem. There might be 0.01% of the population has some kind of lung condition that smoking would be like bad for, but mostly it's just people who don't like the smell. You're not gonna die from a whiff of secondhand smoke.
No, not at all.
So I can stand out in the public space and after not having taken a shower for 2 weeks and stink to high heaven, I can smear myself in dog poo in the public space if I wish and really stink. I can fart, and while having done these things, smells, as yucky as it is, there are lots of smelly people in public spaces.
Just don't
they seem
do any
to
of
congregate
that.
in them.
Just don't do any of that when you come to the studio, please.
No.
So am I not entitled to fresh air in these government spaces then?
I don't know.
I
Are
pay
you
for it?
Entitled.
I don't know.
I think the answer,
that's why I changed the terminology. Do I have a right to it?
If you were entitled to it, then you would have it. And you're not.
Yeah,
so you're not.
I like Mark's idea of smoover. I mean, you should be able to, in this world of a la carte ordering, right? You should be able to order an Uber. Would you like a smoking Uber or a non-smoking Uber, right? Would you like an Uber with a fully functional wraparound wet bar or not, right? Whatever kind of Uber you would like, if there's a market for it, you should be able to order it.
Hey, they still have the no smoking signs on airplanes. And that has another thing.
And in the Greyhound buses too, but yet they still have the little ashtray things.
Oh, do they?
On the Greyhounds?
Yeah.
Those might just be really old buses.
Maybe.
I think that's what we're dealing with.
I don't remember seeing an ashtray on an airplane.
Most airline seats don't have the ashtrays anymore. If they do, they're sealed up.
Yeah.
I think mostly the non-smoking thing is for the vapors. They would just want to get those vapors.
Well, now they do. They've transitioned to that because vaping's gotten so popular. And because it's not smoke, right? It's like water vapor or glycerin or whatever that they're exhaling. It's like, oh no, it's safe. There's no secondhand smoke. that they've infringed on the non-cloudy space of non-smokers, and now they're the bad guys too.
Well, and it's the tobacco industry that, of all people, is sort of backing the bans on the vape. And you're like, wait, aren't you also involved in the vaping manufacturing and distributing industry?
These people know what they're doing. And I don't know. I mean, I would agree with you. I'm a little skeptical and surprised, but believe me, they've done those tests and they realize that the people who can't vape are going to go back to smoke
or whatever. Yeah.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live, or call us the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,488, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,238. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, bump stock owners aren't complying with an illegal federal ban approved through an unconstitutional bureaucratic process via the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. According to the Washington Times, only 1,000 bump stocks were collected in the run-up to the March deadline. There are between 280,000 to 520,000 bump stocks in circulation, according to the Justice Department. Activist Post reports that the feds would have to replicate that same rate of the collection either 280 or 520 times in order to recover all the remaining bump stocks, and that's assuming more devices are not secretly manufactured and sold in the meantime. To comply with the bump stock ban would be to merely encourage further confiscation efforts, but the lack of compliance makes it obvious that the policy is unpopular and will be expensive to enforce. Refusal to turn over the bump stocks is nullification in effect on an individual level. Hundreds of thousands of people are simply saying, quote, "We will not comply," end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. and believe so strongly in the power of Kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of Kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A 13-year-old Overland Park, Kansas girl was arrested last month and charged with a felony after police say her classmates claim she made a gun-like hand gesture at multiple students. The Mind Unleashed reports the girl, a student at Westridge Middle School, flashed the finger gun at 4 fellow students and then toward herself September 18th, after her classmates asked her which 5 people in the classroom she would kill. That's according to Overland Park Police Chief Frank Donches. The student, who remains unidentified due to laws protecting her privacy, was arrested and charged the day following the incident for threatening a mass shooting, according to the Johnson County District Attorney's Office. The girl admitted to threatening others, the police have said. The context of the conversation remains unclear, but the girl is now living in California, according to the Kansas City Star. The girl's grandfather, John Kavanaugh, told the Star the girl was simply mouthing off. Arrests of children have skyrocketed over the last decade. That's according to the latest statistics published by the FBI. The statistics, compiled from 2013 to 2018, revealed more than 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested, averaging more than 6,000 kids per year. Equally disturbing is students 10 to 12 years of age, top 266,000. Activist Post reports that in the past, students and children were disciplined with consequences such as timeout and paddling. But as more and more schools replace handling things internally with external police state options like school resource officers, children are ending up with arrest records and their fingerprints stored in databases. Often referred to as the school-to-prison pipeline, the principal players in the funneling of kids from school to jail are the school resource officers. What may seem like routine policing or modern-day policing methods to some, others see as a human rights violation, a slippery slope leading to a criminal life and a poor use of school resources. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
In this week's Onion Tips section, 5 easy ways to adapt your deplorable and parasitic existence for the upcoming Armageddon. Tip 1. Focus on preparing your home for any number of disaster situations, which still probably won't take your mind off of your impending death or the myriad mistakes you made in your short, pitiful life. Tip 2. Make sure your linens are clean prior to the upcoming catastrophe, as these are likely the very same sheets on which you will soon be slowly asphyxiated. Tip 3. Take some time off work and spend your last days free from the bonds of the oppressive machine that was just about the only thing giving you a purpose to your otherwise insignificant days. Tip 4. Spend your final waking minutes before the end of the world with your family, knowing full well you'd rather be doing a number of other gratifying yet completely depraved things. Right, sicko? In other news, a smitten foot fetishist thinks these may be the two. A woman and her gay best friend go on another one of their little adventures, and a dead daughter would have wanted a $220 million liability settlement.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. And we spent basically the previous hour talking about the cops and marijuana breathalyzers and tickets and all these sorts of things. But apparently, Dick's Sporting Goods has decided it was a great idea to destroy a whole bunch of firearms
of their own stock.
Yeah,
5 million worth of their own weapons, assault weapons, according to the article.
Why wouldn't you sell them?
I don't know. You would. Well, they don't want to. They won't. They don't want to sell them to people, right? Because they're jumping on the assault weapons are bad bandwagon. And then what do you do with it? Do you send it back to the manufacturer? Do you get a refund?
Sell them to the government.
There's a secondary market for these sorts of things. You can just sell them at a discounted rate. I mean, like, think about this for a second. You run, I don't know, a small chain of firearms stores, and somebody wants to sell the firearms that you pay full wholesale for at 85%, 75%. I mean, this is the kind of blowout sort of backdoor sale thing that is very, very doable and done in just about every other sort of market segment. I don't even know what to call it, but every other SKU, every other type of product out there. I don't see why they wouldn't do it with this. I mean, it seems highly unlikely to me that some murder occurs and then Dick's Sporting Goods is somehow implicated because they resold wholesale this gun.
My radar's going off. I detect PR marketing stunt.
That could be.
I guess, but I mean, what's the point? I mean,
to get them the press about how they're now anti-gun or whatever.
Are 60-year-old, ladies in Asics now going to go in and spend a little more money on whatever it is? They've got a big section of their store that's for hunters.
Yeah. Maybe they're just doing it because of their name. They're dicks.
they are dicks, right? Like it's right there on their sign, and they've got they've got all kinds of other guns, mind you. Assault weapons,
quote unquote,
are right, quote unquote. Because I thank you for the because I did do the air quotes with my fingers, and as a radio professional, you think that I would be more clear, but. The amount of murders that are committed with rifles is fractional. And of those rifles, one would presume some of them have sort of wooden stocks. And maybe some of them are, they have a bolt action. And they're not a semi-automatic. So even if they, probably a majority of them are semi-automatics. Okay, let's just go ahead and say it. That could be true. And then, what is the line between a semi-automatic rifle and an assault rifle? And I haven't yet heard anyone give me a reasonable definition as to what this might be.
Assault rifles are bad, and they're used to murder students.
I think it's, the best thing I've heard is from the conservatives who say it's a black rifle.
Okay. That's
right?
it?
That's it. It's just a rifle that's black.
I mean, to me, it's the difference between, like, a car with a normal-looking, trunk back end and the same exact model of car, except it's got a racing fin on it.
Yeah, right.
It's the Go Faster model, right? They put the fin on it, a couple extra stripes, and presto changeo, it's an assault car.
Put a black racing stripe down the middle of it?
Yeah.
Right, there you go. That's effectively what we're talking about here. So you could have, and the more features you have on it. So rifles, for those that don't know, say an AR. This is the things people want to talk about, the AR-15. They have a little rail where you can put some attachments. Now, that attachment could be a laser sight to help you hit the target, which is the whole purpose of the rifle. It could be a grenade launcher if it was legal for you to have it. And
some places they are.
I'm sure that there's some possibilities. I'm no expert in this.
They mount the GoPro cameras and stuff to them too.
Right. GoPro camera could have a flashlight on the gun is a great idea. You want to make sure you know what you're shooting in the middle of the night, because a person walking around your house in the middle of the night making noise is very probably someone you know and love.
In most cases.
You do not want to shoot them. And even if you're living by yourself, you don't want to shoot somebody in the house without knowing who it is you're shooting, because it could be your friend who's, there to check on your dog and was confused about when the vacation was, or they're drunk, or whatever the reason is.
There's been multiple stories of people just breaking into the wrong house, thinking it's the wrong house, and nothing coming of it, right? Like, hey, dude, you're on my couch. You're in the wrong house. You're no harm from you, but now you got to go. And there was one from I think another country recently in the news where the guy woke up and he started like taking a selfie video of him and they like cooked him breakfast and everything. And he wandered into the wrong house after a party, right? Slept on the couch or whatever. The owners woke up the next morning. Hey, dude, you're in the wrong house. When they found out why he was there, went, well, we all get drunk at party every now and then. How about some breakfast and a smoke? And they hooked him up on the way out. So yeah, maybe not the best idea to shoot first in situations like that.
Mostly, I mean, my family's in my house, and that's going to make me, extra cautious. But mostly the things in my house, I'd rather lose than shoot somebody.
Right.
I'm probably not going to help you get a screwdriver and take my TV off the wall. But I'd honestly prefer to lose my TV over having to deal with a 200-pound sack of meat bleeding out of my floor.
Okay.
I just don't want to.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to have to deal with the visions of this. I'm a firefighter, and I've seen multiple situations where I've seen accidents where people didn't walk away, but I've seen the worst ones, honestly, are the ones where people do get wheeled off and they do live because it's grody. And I have visions of these things at night, and I don't want another one of those things if I can avoid it. Thanks very much.
That's fair.
I think the people that they're polishing the gun, waiting for that opportunity to put one in somebody.
That's psychopathic behavior.
I don't think they've done this very much. They haven't gotten out very often. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a gun, and thank goodness for people who carry them and carry them well and keep us safe, but it's just not great. So let's get back here to the story of dicks destroying some perfectly good.
These guys are dicks.
They are the dicks, yeah.
In an interview with CBS on October 6th, Edward Stack, CEO, revealed that Dix had destroyed $5 million worth of assault-style weapons, following the company's 2018 decision to remove them from the store
Now
shelves.
the media calls, what was that last part?
Assault-style weapons.
Yes. The media calls it assault-style because they know that everybody laughs at them about what an assault weapon is.
Well, a lot of times it's because when they show them on TV, what they're demonstrating isn't an assault weapon.
Was it $5 million?
$5 million.
In retail value? Wholesale value?
Probably retail.
Okay. Yeah, I would say retail.
All right.
But, okay, so here's the thing. The 2008 decision to remove them from the store, right, that's when they got all the press that you were talking about, Captain, where they like, oh my gosh, one of the biggest, even the sporting goods store that sells guns has had a revelation, company-wide, that this is not a good idea to sell and to promote and to have out there on the streets of the consumers. And now they're kicking it up a notch, right, because there's so much things you can do with back inventory, but they're destroying it.
2008? They've got these things from 2018. Okay.
Yeah. Did I say 8? I apologize.
I got confused there. I should have been. I just don't remember when they did it.
Okay. Stack's stance on the issue began to take form in 2012 when he decided to stop selling the popular AR-15 rifle.
That particular semi-automatic rifle.
And everyone thinks that the AR stands for assault rifle, which adds credence to that.
No.
Well, you say no, because we amongst people that do, but watch the news.
Yeah, or talk to the general public.
After Adam Lanza used one to kill 27 people at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut.
It was a real tragedy, but
but did it really happen?
Oh, well, it did really happen. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. You can believe we're going to get calls on that. Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
You can be the smartest person in the room on the topic of the Constitution if you watch this free webinar. Liberty First University is online training on the principles of liberty and the origin, proper application, and defense of our founding documents and the principles they contain. You will receive an education worthy of the highest institutions of learning, as if the founders were teaching it. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com. If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition. The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000. 859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. We're talking about Dick's Sporting Goods destroying $5 million in perfectly good firearms.
Yep.
And
what a waste.
You know, I mean, maybe if you wanted to purchase a firearm, you don't want people to know, you don't want Google to know, you don't want the government to know, you don't want anybody to know that you're going to a place to make this particular transaction. I have a recommendation, and that recommendation is not putting your phone into airplane mode. So if you put your phone into airplane mode, when you take it off, you'll see it's tracked you the whole way. GPS is still working when it's in airplane mode. Now, I can't tell you what's happening when it's off or not, but I can tell you I don't trust the folks that put phones together to protect my privacy.
Oh, yeah.
And I certainly don't trust the government or these telecoms or any of these other folks. Who I do trust, GoDarkBags.com. Go Dark Bags, I've got one, and I got a little Bluetooth headset. So immediately when I slide this thing in, zoop, it says phone 1 disconnected. And that makes me feel very confident that that's the case.
Nice.
And I'm not buying firearms, but many times I've just decided, several times I've decided, I don't want to be tracked going to this place, wherever this is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll slide the phone in just to sort of do that. You wrap it up. It's sort of water resistant-y too. I mean, I wouldn't take it down with me diving 10 feet, but you know, it's
but you could put it in a diving bag and put it in the Go Dark bag if you wanted to.
Correct.
Yeah.
So godarkbags.com/FTL if you value your privacy and want to be absolutely certain your mobile phone cannot be hacked or its location tracked. You should get one of these Faraday bags by going to godarkbags.com/FTL. There's a little special there for you if you go check it out. godarkbags.com/FTL.
So apparently I wasn't able to entice anyone to call in about Sandy Hook being real or not. Because that's all was fun. So moving on. Stack initially planned to remove the guns from store shelves quietly, but outcry from the National Rifle Association, firearms enthusiasts, and gun companies led Stack to publicly defend his position, saying he didn't want to sell assault-style weapons that could inflict the kind of damage seen at Sandy Hook.
It sounds like he threw a temper tantrum. Oh, yeah? You guys are going to cry? Oh, fine. I'll destroy all the guns.
I support him if that's what he wants to do. If he feels that there's some relationship to it, that's fine. But I'll tell you what, the Ford family doesn't lose any sleep over people who die in automobile accidents. And
fact.
Doctors,
the Pinto,
the pharmaceutical companies, all that stuff.
Ford Exploder.
What is it, like the third leading cause of death is basically doctor mistakes, that there are I think it's 10 times as many people die in America from taking prescribed drugs in the prescribed manner than they do from overdoses. You can check my numbers to see this, but I'm not far off.
Right.
Or getting the wrong drug because they couldn't read the prescription properly at the pharmacy.
Sure, well, I can't read anything properly without my glasses on.
All right.
Me neither.
So and here's the other thing. So it's his company. He can do as he pleases.
Yes,
right.
fact.
It's their weapons, so no argument there. But still stupid, nonetheless. After the 2018 shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, which left 17 people dead, Stack took his position a step further. So he is like piling on all these tragedies, like you said, for publicity.
Wow.
Sure. Announcing that Dick's would no longer sell firearms of any type to anyone under 21, and that would pull the remaining assault weapons, quote unquote, from its stores. 2 months later, the CEO announced his plans to physically destroy Dick's assault weapons inventory. Stack claims that these decisions were prompted by the fact that Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter, had purchased a shotgun from Dick's prior to his arrest.
Yeah, but a shotgun isn't an assault style weapon.
Right, yeah.
It's just a shotgun. I mean,
true story.
Shotguns have shot far more clay pigeons than they have people.
But he bought it from Dick's, and so now he feels responsible, even though it wasn't the gun he used.
If that's how you feel, that's your business. I'm not gonna tell somebody that they have to do this thing or that thing. I have some friends. They own a pizza shop here in Keene, New Hampshire. Very nice people, and they're not the principled libertarians. They're interested, but not principled by any stretch of the imagination. They used to run a pizza shop where they did a lot of deliveries, and one of their drivers got into a terrible accident, and they felt responsible
for putting him on the road.
It's not that I don't understand.
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
but they wanted. What they did was they bought a in-house sitting pizza joint, and it's doing very well. They're not. I mean, maybe they're losing out on money. They certainly are losing out on money, but they're doing fine. And the guy works in the back now, and he makes pies, and everything's great. I mean, this is the sort of place where they hire, and once you're hired, you're family.
Nice.
Right.
So they took care of him.
Yeah, they're great people. It's a great kind of place to work. Everybody makes good money. They price their pies a little too high, but man, if you make the best pie in town, then people will pay for it.
And I do like pizza.
Yep. Who doesn't?
So here's what he said. This addresses your point, Mark. Even though it wasn't the gun he used, it could have been, Stack said. Yet, Dick still sells shotguns. So the gun he used, not getting destroyed. The guns that he could have used, destroyed. $5 million worth. The backlash from the firearm industry.
Let's point out that an AR-15 will allow a 5-foot-tall woman to protect her home in a way that a Mossberg 500 never could. Is it Winchester 300 Mossberger? You shouldn't ask me these things.
I didn't.
Yeah. In a way, a big old 12 gauge never could, because, a woman fires a 12 gauge. In many cases, they're really sorry about the experience.
Yeah.
It's not a pleasant experience to fire a 12 gauge shotgun, especially if you weigh half of what I do. And, even a guy is going to start feeling it after, you run a few through there. If you Dutch loads through this thing, you're going to start to feel it. Yeah. So what this does is this secures more firmly the narrative that guns are only for men. And I like the saying that God made man and Sam Colt made him equal. We live in a world where a 10-year-old girl can defend herself from Mike Tyson. I shouldn't pick out Iron Mike here, but defend herself from somebody who's a very accomplished fighter who's very strong.
If you train her right with the firearms.
Honestly, you don't need that much training, but
do you suppose Mike Tyson lisps when he pronounces his own name? Mike Tyson?
I don't know. We need to check that out. Surely there's a video.
Sorry, tangent.
I'm sure he said it somewhere. The backlash from the firearm industry was even bigger this time, with multiple gun companies, including O.F. Mossberg & Sons, MKS Supply, and Springfield Armory, severing ties with the chain completely. Destroying $5 million in gun inventory does not seem to be affecting Dick's bottom line. This past August, Dick's posted its best earning quarter in 3 years.
Okay.
Impressive statistic when you think about it.
Hey, look.
Not losing
that's
customers.
What this is about.
Yeah.
And if he's successfully turning this into a marketing campaign, and the Karens of the world are going in and they're buying an extra pair of jogging shorts or whatever, that's fine. Look, I was in Dick's a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago. I needed a mouth guard, and they got my $10 or whatever it was.
Sure.
Not much. Oh, and they had an extra pair of rash guards. Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
There is no such thing as attention span, according to Jerry Seinfeld, who figures that people have an infinite attention span if you are entertaining them. Hey, he's kept us from channel surfing for several decades, and now he's making more millions as a Las Vegas headliner. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're looking for work. So choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Avoid redundancies such as added bonus, advance warning, end result, prior history, or personal belongings. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. Mark with you.
Richie Rich.
Captain Kickass.
It's a live Sunday show. If it's between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, the chances are good that we will be live here taking your telephone calls. So if you listen to Free Talk Live on some other, some station that maybe airs it from, 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, we appreciate that. Mind you, I'm happy to be on, but we're at that point, we're free talk. Because it's not Free Talk Live.
It's poor marketing.
But if you have something you want to talk about, we're here for you from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Look, we all have things that go through our heads throughout the day that we think this is an important topic that the rest of the world needs to talk about.
Well, and you can get in the Discord chat at any time.
That's true. You can get in the Discord chat. It's always going on. You go to discord.freetalklive.com. And there, once you get into the Discord chat, you can call in from the Discord chat and sound great. But you could just be like the many dozens, and well, there's hundreds of people often in it, so more than 100 often in it, just chatting away. I've heard it's the largest libertarian Discord group in the world.
Nice.
I don't know what that's a pretty qualified statement, mind you. But I want to tell you about Balance of Nature before we go on. Balance of Nature. I love this product. It's great, and basically the reason is it helps you to hit those goals you have for your diet. It can be hard. It's not easy. It's not easy or fun to eat properly, but with Balance of Nature, it has gotten easier. With just 3 Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 veggie capsules, you get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. You can go online, become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. After your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no extra charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. It's a limited time offer, so don't wait. Go to balanceofnature.com. Use discount code FTL. Thank you to all of the people who have done this. We took this on sort of a lark because our Riley Blake, one of our helpers, I don't even know how to describe it. He doesn't have a title. The guy who, an employee is a legal term, pal.
Okay. Right, yeah. He produces the digest, right?
He produces the digest. He's a great guy. And he's blind, and Balance of Nature gives him a real job, where Free Talk Live just gives him a little work. And this has worked pretty well for us. As far as a product, it seems like a lot of our listeners want it, and they want the special they get if they go to balanceofnature.com and then use coupon code FTL. So let's go on with this story about Dick's Sporting Goods and their dastardly destroying of some firearms.
After earning their best quarter in 3 years. Probably won't affect crime much either. A 2018 analysis by the RAND Corporation found no qualifying studies showing that bans on the sale of assault weapons and high-capacity magazines decreased any of the 8 outcomes we investigated, including mass shootings. Those results shouldn't be surprising. When people say assault weapon, they usually mean the guns banned by the 1994's Public Safety and Recreational Firearms Use Protection Act, which expired in 2004. That law classified...
And mind you, crime is no higher. Murders are no higher than they were at that time. There have been an uptick in gun deaths, but when somebody talks about gun deaths, that person is most likely a liar or a fool, okay? Guns kill people. That's what they're designed to do, but they're very effective when you take one and stick it in your mouth and blow the top of your head off, okay? Now, that's what they're supposed to do. If you want to commit suicide and you use a gun to do it, you're probably going to be successful. God help you if you're not. I met a man who wasn't. The side of his face was grotesque.
Yeah, if you miss, it's a horrible, horrible thing.
And then you go through life not able to speak and, all kinds of problems. Alcohol is a terrible drug, and sometimes it can be involved in, these kind of things. It can often be involved. So it's not a good idea to just go and act rashly, but gun deaths and gun homicides are different things.
Yes. So which doesn't make them a liar, just makes the statistics say what it wants to say.
I know, but somebody who's saying, look, if they've been told one time about the story about gun deaths are, I think, 3 or 4 times what gun homicides are.
Right.
So you're making it seem like a much bigger problem.
Agreed.
If you talk about gun deaths rather than gun. Now, I'm not for suicide, but I'm for freedom of choice, and part of freedom of choice means that you can end your life when you wish. I think you should think about this pretty thoroughly and maybe talk to your family. I think it's best if it's only somebody who has some kind of terminal illness, but that's my opinion. I want you to live. I've talked to plenty of people here on the air, and hopefully I've been helpful in those situations. I've had a few people call back and say that I was. I'm delighted that I've been able to make that make that happen.
Sure.
But ultimately your life, you don't own your life if you can't end it.
That is true. That law, the 1994's law, classified certain weapons as assault weapons for reasons as simple as being a specific brand, such as the Kalashnikov, or bearing a combination of certain physical characteristics, such as folding stocks and threaded barrels.
Yeah.
As reasons, go ahead.
The threaded barrel, you could put a suppressor on. It's nice and convenient instead of having to get somebody to thread it for you.
As reasons, Jacob Sullivan has noted, these features have no impact on a weapon's lethality. The functional capabilities of an AR-15 and a standard hunting rifle are the same.
I just feel like all the talk of these terms, right? Assault style, and let's define what that is, and it's a black gun, or I feel like they're just developing classes of weapons now, right? And so you're going to have the citizen class of weapons versus the government class.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying a military.
Right, but
weapon,
but if
basically military style weapon.
But if you're really anti-gun and you want sort of a safer society, you should look at who the number one perpetrator of gun deaths is, and that's organizations known as government. They perpetuate the most deaths by guns. So anybody who's anti-gun and they want citizens to be disarmed, that you're really just saying that you only want government to have guns, and so you're really for guns in that respect.
I would be very interested in this social experiment. Men commit the vast majority of violent crimes. I mean,
we're kind of built for it.
Well, yeah, the vast majority of them. It would be interesting to me if we created a world. If you want to ban things, ban men from owning guns, and then see what that does in the from a societal standpoint. I don't support this. I'm just saying this is far more interesting to me than the sort of we got to get rid of guns because of fairness and whatever.
I just had a vision of a pink Hello Kitty AK-47.
They exist.
Through my head.
They exist.
They do exist. I've seen that one
cute. Honestly, I will say this about I want to mention. I think that it's important to mention this every time. Concealed carry permit holders are the safest people in America.
Yep.
So if somebody's gone through the trouble of getting a concealed carry permit, they're actually 10 times safer than law enforcement officers from a sort of a criminal standpoint. Any crime, mind you. And law enforcement officers, I believe, are like 100 times safer than your average citizen. Now, of course, it's hard for a law enforcement officer to get arrested. So you might bump up that number a bit.
Is that where the statistic is derived from? Arrest records?
Yeah, basically. Okay. Well, I mean, how else are you going to do it? But cops aren't cutting the CCW people any breaks.
Right.
Okay.
So the fact that the CCW people come in a tenth of the cops is stunning.
Okay.
I mean, just stunning. So, you know, to me, these are the great folks that are both keeping us safe and,
being responsible.
Yeah.
And unnecessary here in New Hampshire.
You don't have to have a CCW, but it is useful to have one because you can then carry outside of the state. And it's not a big state. You're 35 miles from prison no matter where you go.
Right.
And yes, Dick's still stocks and sells semi-automatic rifles that aren't considered assault weapons. Unsurprisingly, those are sometimes used in mass shootings.
Oh, yeah.
The Ruger 1022 available at Dick's was used in a massacre at Cascade Mall in Burlington, Washington in 2016.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, you know, whatever, it's his store. And that number, 855-450-3733. 855-450, free is in Free Talk Live.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Free Talk Live.
It's if I'm watching not a cable, just regular news, and they give me the news, and the next flash is two people fornicating, okay? And then every other word is F-U, a B-I-C, a hoe, and all this stuff, and penis. Do you think I need to say that? That's not acceptable no matter what. You're saying free airwaves. For anything goes for anybody.
For public access, yes. That's exactly its purpose. That's the purpose of it.
Why not?
Do you want a red light in front of a cop?
Probably not in front of a cop because he hurt
What's
me.
the same difference if you're going to have that kind of FU and seeing two people fornicating after they just said the weather is 92 degrees and 5 inches of
Wait, I think you're a little confused about something
No,
here.
I'm not confused.
Point of information.
You're trying to confuse people.
Let's clarify
free
then.
Airwaves are free within limits.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever you want to talk about. We are discussing this story about Dick's Sporting Goods. Have we pretty much wrapped it up, by the way?
There's only one paragraph left, so we're wrapping it up.
Yeah. Well, I got something else I want to talk about, too, here shortly. Please, I would like to tell you about the AMP program. You could be an amplifier, like Harry is an amplifier. Thank you, Harry.
Thanks, Harry.
You go to amp.freetalklive.com, sign up there. It's $5 a month. You get some perks, quite a few of them. We've got like a call-in line for you and a Facebook group where you can talk to the other amplifiers and hosts. And we've got the special area on the Discord where the hosts go and chit-chat. You just get you're basically like a member of the board, stockholders of Free Talk Live at amp.freetalklive.com. And, we really appreciate them. People like Harry. amp.freetalklive.com. What's in that last paragraph?
All right, so Stack acknowledges
that's the owner of Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yep. That the policy won't stop mass shootings.
Nope.
Saying you're probably right, it won't. But if we do these things and it saves one life,
yes,
don't you think it's worth it?
Well, that's the proper answer for somebody who's apparently had one of their best quarters yet by, stopping selling firearms. Good for him.
Apparently, certainly been worth it to the bottom line of their shareholders.
And that's probably, like Mark said, the most important thing. It's unclear what life he thinks it saves to stop selling one arbitrarily defined group of weapons while continue to offer mechanically identical products. Stack may need to brush up on how the guns he sells work.
Well, he apparently knows how the sales that he makes work, and I can't argue with that. If he feels that he can fill this hole, if the retired hippies and these sorts of things want to buy their are more comfortable buying their sporting goods at Dick's now because they have changed their rules, then great.
Was it $5 million increase in sales though? Did that cover the loss of inventory? That I'd like to know.
Yeah, I wonder, like the largest quarter. I mean, you would think Dick's Sporting Goods is a pretty large franchise, so
yeah, it's pretty big.
I would think that's more than exceeded.
There's one here in town, and it's a good size store. I've been to Sports.
Is that the one right
Authorities.
down the road? I think I've stopped off that on the way to Vermont. Is that a different?
It's
one?
on the way to Vermont.
Okay, yep, I've been to that one.
And we were actually talking about hippies in the break here, and there's lots of. I've been to these hippie festivals and that kind of thing, and there's a lot of overlap between the liberty community and the hippie community.
Yeah, with the canning and the grow your own food and
marijuana freedom,
all that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a great deal of it, but I can't agree with them on everything. I didn't see anybody open carrying at the hemp fest that I was at 3 years ago or something. Went with Ian. Ian loves himself a good festival, and by all means, I'm here to help you, pal.
There's a lot of different communities that you would think lends itself in some way to libertarian ideas and ideals.
Yeah,
but there's never a connection or an overlap that draws them in to wanting more freedom, right? It's like the one issue thing, or a couple issues with the canning and the weed for the hippies, but then the other freedoms, man, don't have the time for.
Yeah, it's like they're segregated freedomists. somehow. Like, oh, we only care about these two freedoms and everything else is.
I find that with conservatives in many cases that, many times these are people that think.
Yeah.
They're willing to think about a problem. They may not be Harvard educated, which that's probably a good thing, but they're willing to spend a little bit of time thinking about an issue. But there's this one thing. They're like, I can't call myself a libertarian because I don't believe in abortion. Well, wait a second now. Abortion isn't a libertarian issue because it has to do with when you determine life starting. And some libertarians are pro-choice and some are pro-life, and some people fall in the middle. I'm of the opinion that if voting statists want to perpetrate a genocide on themselves, who am I to stand in the way? It's not like I was going to stop it anyway, but here you are. A little round of applause for you for taking care of the problem.
That's another thing that I've always considered like a libertarian plus position, right? Like
libertarian plus.
Do you have another one? So I would agree with you that it's that you can apply libertarian thought to the abortion issue,
right?
But it ultimately comes down to where you think life begins.
I'm an all choice, right? Sort of on these kinds of things. More choice is always the best answer, and individual choice is always the right answer as far as, when I think about these issues.
I think that banning abortions has been done, and we know what the results are. I'm not here going to tell you that I don't think that it would qualify as homicide. But I'm telling you, with 8 billion of these, particularly this very successful primate on the planet, maybe a little homicide could be spread around, is what I'm saying. Is that, if I were God King and I wanted to cull this particular herd down, I would do a variety of things. I'd look for a variety of traits. And if I were a eugenicist and I wanted to create a eugenics method, I would have created abortion because it's effectively doing all of those things. It's all the things that the eugenicists want to achieve. Abortion is achieving those things. Now, I would question those people that are claim to be pro-life is like, why do you want to stop that? If it's working as the eugenicists wanted it to work, and we know that there are problems that are population-based in the United States and around the world, then why would you want to stop that?
So to answer your initial question, another population-based one. What's the libertarian position on what should be done about the homeless population?
What is the libertarian position on what should be done about the homeless population? I would say that in short, zoning laws are the first and primary enemy of homeless people.
Okay.
Because let's say I had a piece of property that was in town and I could just let some homeless people. It's not use. I don't want to build anything there. I don't want to do anything with it. It's been in my family for years. There's a guy here in town that actually has one. He has the king's deed on this property.
That's impressive.
It is impressive. So his family has had it for that long, and he just lets homeless people go on there and build stuff. Okay. And then about every 8 years or so, the fire department will go through and tear down all their buildings for being non-compliant.
Right.
So there's the people that are trying to figure out ways to keep the snow off their heads.
Right.
And they're living a life, right? Sure. They've got a job, panhandling. I don't consider it a noble profession. Like, there's a very small list of jobs out there that I consider ignoble.
Panhandling is one?
And panhandling is one.
Okay.
I think that, get out there and do a real job and create value.
Right.
But I can see what it is. It's there. He's not sitting on the side of the road with a sign because he doesn't make enough money. If somebody stops off and offers him a job every now and then, I'm sure of it.
And he just says, I make more money than that.
No thanks.
Right.
Because he only works 20 hours a week in the nicer weather holding a sign, and then his needs are taken care of, whatever his needs might be.
So is it incumbent upon the libertarian community to do anything about the homeless population or epidemic or whatever you want to call it?
No.
Homeless problem.
There is no homeless problem.
Right.
The homeless problem is the statists who allow them to camp out on the sidewalks and make all the problems. As a private property owner, you should be able to drive people off of your property that you don't want there. Maybe they're committing crimes or going poop in the corner or whatever it is that they're doing, and you should be able to drive them off and that kind of thing. I don't live in California, where apparently half of the U.S. homeless live out on the West Coast. You're from Seattle, right?
Yep.
Cap?
Yep. Oh, there's plenty of homeless in the Seattle area.
Yes.
And I mean, to say it's a problem is to ignore the cause, right? What is the cause of homelessness? Well, oftentimes it's poverty, and oftentimes it's poverty along with mental health, right? Or a lack thereof, right? These are generally the top two factors in the homeless population. And so the real answer is, is there a libertarian position? It's just that you need to address the cause of it instead of the symptoms, which is all statism does, is address the symptoms.
And mental health issues, mental health issues, I think are really a sort of problem in a libertarian world, because you're either responsible for your actions or you're not. And if you're not responsible for your actions, how do we deal with that? Locking you up? Well, some people need mental health treatment. They need to be put in a home. But if they decide they want to leave, how do you address the issues of volition?
Right.
And, maybe you can say they committed a petty crime and this is where they've been sentenced to, or whatever the case may be.
There's actually a segment of homelessness in the Seattle area that it's a result of gentrification, right? The rise of the costs of the living and rent and property and all that kind of stuff. So there's actually a large number of people that have jobs, right? Even couples, right? Where they both have jobs. They both make 70, 80 grand a year, whatever, which is not much in Seattle. It's a lot for, a lot of places, but in Seattle, that's not a lot. And they live in an RV. Right, because they can't afford property.
That's a home. I'm not willing to call them homeless.
Well, they're houseless.
Your thoughts, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,488, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,238. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, bump stock owners aren't complying with an illegal federal ban approved through an unconstitutional bureaucratic process via the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. According to the Washington Times, only 1,000 bump stocks were collected in the run-up to the March deadline. There are between 280,000 to 520,000 bump stocks in circulation, according to the Justice Department. Activist Post reports that the feds would have to replicate that same rate of the collection either 280 or 520 times in order to recover all the remaining bump stocks, and that's assuming more devices are not secretly manufactured and sold in the meantime. To comply with the bump stock ban would be to merely encourage further confiscation efforts, but the lack of compliance makes it obvious that the policy is unpopular and will be expensive to enforce. Refusal to turn over the bump stocks is nullification in effect on an individual level. Hundreds of thousands of people are simply saying, quote, "We will not comply," end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A 13-year-old Overland Park, Kansas girl was arrested last month and charged with a felony after police say her classmates claim she made a gun-like hand gesture at multiple students. The Mind Unleashed reports the girl, a student at Westridge Middle School, flashed the finger gun at 4 fellow students and then toward herself September 18th. After her classmates asked her which 5 people in the classroom she would kill. That's according to Overland Park Police Chief Frank Donches. The student, who remains unidentified due to laws protecting her privacy, was arrested and charged the day following the incident for threatening a mass shooting, according to the Johnson County District Attorney's Office. The girl admitted to threatening others, the police have said. The context of the conversation remains unclear, but the girl is now living in California, according to the Kansas City Star. The girl's grandfather, John Kavanaugh, told the Star the girl was simply mouthing off. Arrests of children have skyrocketed over the last decade. That's according to the latest statistics published by the FBI. These statistics, compiled from 2013 to 2018, revealed more than 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested, averaging more than 6,000 kids per year. Equally disturbing as students 10 to 12 years of age top 266,000. Activist Post reports that in the past, students and children were disciplined with consequences such as timeout and paddling. But as more and more schools replace handling things internally with external police state options like school resource officers, children are ending up with arrest records and their fingerprints stored in databases. Often referred to as the school-to-prison pipeline, the principal players in the funneling of kids from school to jail are the school resource officers. What may seem like routine policing or modern-day policing methods to some, others see as a human rights violation, a slippery slope leading to a criminal life, and a poor use of school resources. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
According to a report released Monday, Americans currently lead the world in compressing big sandwiches into sufficiently biteable sizes, outranking countries such as Germany, Slovenia, and Ukraine in their sheer capacity to squeeze BLTs, meatball subs, and grinders into shapes that will easily and efficiently fit into their open mouths. Researchers pointed out that in series after series of tests, Americans consistently topped international rankings by implementing over 800 pounds per square inch of compressive force source on sandwich categories as diverse as banh mi, croque monsieurs, or gyros, rarely hesitating for more than a moment before diving in and pushing the bread together and wedging it into their mouths.
Even in the cases in which Americans fail to sufficiently compress a sandwich and, say, dropped a stray piece of bacon or avocado, they still led the pack on quickly scooping up this topping with their hands and eating it, sometimes even inventively doing so with a stray potato chip or french fry.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about what you want to talk about. We've been all over the board tonight, from marijuana breathalyzers to Dick's Sporting Goods destroying $5 million of perfectly functional firearms.
Should have donated it to the cause, man.
Yeah, give it to the homeless shelter. Mark with you.
Richie Rich.
Captain Kickass.
Let's go right to the phones. We've got LJ calling in from Maryland, listening on TuneIn. LJ, you're on Free Talk Live.
Captain Ass-Kisser, I'd like to ask you a question about...
And thank you for calling.
I had one of David's premonitions.
Oh, it was.
I had a premonition like David.
Yeah,
I was like, I bet that's the guy.
Yeah,
that's Witt.
That's the guy.
Yeah. So there you go. Sorry,
neither witty nor kind.
You are free to call in to Free Talk Live as long as you are not that guy. And that's it. And that's all. Last night on the airwaves, I don't know if you, well, not on the airwaves, on the after show, the Freer Talk Live, which is on, you could see it. You'd have to go to our YouTube channel and look for the sort of older version of it, but it was available at the time at twitch.lrn.fm. And, I've studiously avoided speaking to that guy because he's threatened my family on multiple occasions. Now, he'll say that's a lie, but I run a page where I take quotes and they seem really threatening. Like things like, I bought a gun today and I've loaded it and I'm going to empty every bullet in the chamber into Mark Edgington's skull.
Well,
right?
Any transcript can be taken out of context when read back.
Right. Like he could have meant anything. I brought him on so I could ask one question. One question. Please, would you please stop threatening, stop talking about, stop mentioning my family?
Right.
Just my family. Like, I didn't even say that you can continue your wild fantasies about putting a bullet in my head or whatever. Please, my family, stop threatening an 11-year-old boy. He's been threatening him for years. So, it's been, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, right. And I was unsuccessful in keeping this secret from my son. I was editing some audio. He comes into the room and he's like, Jack Edgington, I'm going to make him suffer. Right. And and there it is. Right. So now he's this boogeyman for a kid. And, I try to create a world where my son feels safe. But he can't feel safe because this lunatic, and I'm a liar, by the way. Every time I've got to keep on repeating, I'm a liar, because this guy's side of the story is everything I say is a lie. This lunatic must, ramble on about how my son shouldn't exist. Yeah. It's crazy. So anyway, what are you going to do? I've called the police. They don't want to do anything about it.
Of course not.
Well, if he keeps it up for 7 more years, your son will be able to get his vengeance on his own as an adult.
Well, what's the point in somebody who's just going to keep on talking? Just let him, just keep hanging up. That's just going to keep hanging up.
Yeah, that's the best you can do from here.
It's really all I can do is try not to let him have too much mind space. And that's really what he's looking for. It's looking to occupy some mind space.
I live in your mind.
So, going on.
All right. So new headline?
Yeah.
Group of teen... I don't know how to feel about this headline right off the bat.
You're just reading it.
Group of teen girls tries to set trap for alleged pedophile. One ends up kidnapped.
See? I think it's just funny.
I don't know if it's funny. It's a serious thing, though.
It is, but it's a funny headline.
Okay.
Your plan has gone obviously awry.
Right.
Perhaps they should have had a different hobby.
Maybe. Right. Absolutely. Noble cause, potentially, right? And then, but the headline. So a 32-year-old man in California was arrested after he allegedly kidnapped a teenage girl who had been trying to entrap him in an amateur sex sting operation. Robert Dreyfus, 32, was booked Sunday on suspicion of kidnapping, sending harmful matter to a minor, and communication with a minor for specific offenses.
Well, she's lucky as she made it out, if this is the case.
Right.
Okay, so when I was 13 years old or something, I was hanging out with these two girls who were, of the same age, 13, 14 years old, and there was a guy who drove the school bus who was, 22, 23 years old, something like that. And they had him, giving them money, doing all sorts of things for the promise of sex in return, right? These are 13, 14-year-old girls manipulating, an of-age adult male that they had to interact with, right?
Right. The only people that don't believe that 13, 14, 15-year-old girls understand the sexual power that they have are the parents of those girls. Like the only ones. Like they've forgotten what it's like or something.
They choose not to believe that their daughter can do that.
They choose not to believe it.
Absolutely.
And if they do believe that their daughter could do that, they just believe that it's the responsibility of everybody else to stop her from doing that. And look, it's a dangerous game, and it has consequences.
But
obvious ones.
This headline alone sort of reminded me of, those particular girls and the stunts that they would try and pull, you know what I mean? And so it sounds like they were trying to do something similar and it went horribly awry, and one of them's now missing.
I think
it sounds like exactly what happened.
Missing for a short period of time.
Right.
Authorities say Dreyfus was the target of an amateur sex sting operation by a group of teenage girls who wanted proof he was trying to hook up with underage girls. They had intended to turn the information over to law enforcement.
So they say.
The group made contact with Dreyfus on social media app and exchanged text messages before arranging a meeting in Vista, California, according to sheriff officials. During the meeting, officials say Dreyfus convinced the 17-year-old victim to get into his vehicle to talk, but he then allegedly drove away without consent.
Okay, so I don't know whether a 17-year-old is even underage in California. I'm not here giving legal advice, but I can tell you in some states it's not underage.
Fact.
You don't want to drag her across the state line, but that's not necessarily an illegal number. Obviously, driving off with somebody in your car without their consent is bad, and it certainly is going to be perceived far worse if you went there to hook up with gals that were significantly younger. I mean, I get how all this looks. I'm not here defending Mr. Dreyfus or anything like that, but
right. But again, you're planning this sting operation. You're trying to get this guy to do something, and it's a group of you, and then one of you gets into the car.
Yeah.
Right?
What a great idea.
What a great idea. You meet in a public place, you draw him out of the vehicle somewhere where, something else can happen and you can do whatever it is you planned on doing next. But again, just chuckling at the headline, chuckling at this part as well, to just get into the car to talk and let him drive away.
We're just going to talk.
Yeah, just poof.
For the
At
record,
this point, they got him arrested, though.
The age of consent in California appears to be 18.
Okay.
Sons of guns. The victim was able to message her friends for help, and they contacted authorities. When authorities...
The friends didn't know?
That's the thing. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre set of circumstances.
It's a bizarre story.
When authorities made contact with Dreyfus, he stopped his vehicle and let the 17-year-old out. She was not hurt. So that was it. So they go, hey, let her go. And he did.
Were they trying to the YouTube version of To Catch a Predator?
Yeah. I don't know. Right? Probably.
Sure.
But even that, the girl, with the hidden camera, right, somewhere off in the distance, watches her friend get into the car, right? And then the car drives up. Like, what was that?
Or were they up to something else, and when they got caught, they had to come up with a plausible story to explain what they were doing, and so their explanation was, we were trying to do a YouTube version of To Catch a Predator, and so-and-so ended up,
Either one of these seems equally as plausible, and I tend to think that young ladies tend to get the benefit of the doubt. So,
guaranteed.
They could be a bunch of inexperienced girls trying to catch themselves a pedophile for YouTube views, Or they could have been doing a variety of things.
An extortion ring.
Well, there's stories of underage girls running prostitution rings amongst themselves. The prices are probably quite high, and all these things. So it gets complicated. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450. Free is in Free Talk Live, or go to discord.freetalklive.com and use the Discord lines.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now, as I speak, by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced 6-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. Mark with you.
Richie Rich.
Captain Kickass.
For those of you who consider yourself to be libertarians, I want to tell you about Liberty.menu.
Tell me, Mark.
Yeah, so if you've got a business or you're running an event or you've got some kind of organization, it's good to get a little free ads, a little bit as far as free ads go. Liberty.menu has that for you. You go to Liberty.menu, you can make your listing there. You have to take a little test that says that you're a libertarian, but other than that, you can do that. Now, anybody could go there and find listings and go shopping. I don't know why they would.
What kind of a test?
It's just basically, do you agree that the
non-aggression principle?
The non-aggression principle, more or less.
Got to score 80 or more on the world's smallest political quiz.
It's better than that.
It's not a roadside breathalyzer, is it?
It's not that.
All right.
The number, I'm sorry, it's Liberty.menu. Go check it out. The number here, 855-450-3733. Let's go to Hayden in Pennsylvania. Hayden, you're on Free Talk Live.
You should be shot in the head, Mark Hedge. And when you are, nobody's going to give a fuck.
Oh, my God. We got to drop that. And now, yeah. So, look.
Did not have a premonition on that one.
That guy can't, that guy can't come in the air. However, he said a naughty word, and I haven't been wanting to dump him because I don't see any particular reason to dump what goes out of the airwaves over that. But there he went ahead and violated the rules, and I suspect that he's having a chat right now with the board op about how he put the licenses of 200 radio stations, good God-fearing people, in jeopardy over his own little vendettas.
Is the board op really going to talk to him about that? Do they do that?
Oh, I suspect they will.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Bro, you can't be saying those words on the air.
If the board op can get a word in edgewise.
Right. That's really how this all comes down is that the board op says, "Don't worry, I got this."
Thank you, board op.
Right. So yeah, whatever. Go to Jacob calling in from Little Rock. Jacob, you're on Free Talk Live.
Okay. So I just want to have a rabbit breeding business.
You have a rabbit breeding business?
So pets or meat?
Yes. Well, I have one. I have one rabbit that is a pet, and I dress him up in a crown.
In a crown?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I walk him through the meat rabbits.
Do you have a name for this crowned rabbit?
I know. I switch him out every month.
You switch them out.
Oh, new king every month?
Yeah.
Right. So
they get old.
Yeah. Right.
I make it's soft.
Soft. A lot of people like their breeding pair, but they don't really think anything about the babies. When it comes to rabbits, they'll have a preference for their breeding pair. And I had pigs, and I've assassinated more than my fair share of mammals.
Did you put a crown on it first before make it an official assassination?
No.
But should you ever return to breeding pigs, that might be a good idea.
It's a fine idea. I actually taught Bill Clinton. It was his job to eat and hump, so I named him Bill Clinton. And I taught him that I would give him food if he would help me dig up weeds, like the woody weeds that you need a little help pulling out of the ground.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'd pull on it, and then Clinton would give it a little nose. And when an 800-pound hog sticks its nose up underneath a root ball, it's coming up. And we're quite a team. Sorry, Jacob.
I have a question for the caller though. When is wabbit season?
Oh, wabbit season is
right after duck
all
season?
year.
Oh.
Keep them in cages. They don't really mind the cold. Or I just lock them in my garage or something.
Outside, I was going to say, if it gets cold enough outside, you're going to lose ears.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounded like you said you had a rabbit breeding business, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
I sell them and I test them and I grade them on their meat. But before I kill them, I have them take a test.
Is it like a Myers-Briggs personality test, or?
No.
How many lucky rabbit's foots do you have?
I don't keep the feet. Rabbit feet really aren't that lucky. They kind of stink, actually.
How much does a rabbit go per pound?
Well, it depends. If they get an A, they could sell maybe for a couple $.
Oh, that's not that much at all.
Yeah, the rabbit meat sounds pretty cheap.
Well, you know how like businesses are cyclical, right? Like sometimes businesses will have like a peak season, and I'm honestly asking, do you have like a certain time of year where you sell more than others yet you have to prepare for?
Typically, right after Ramadan is when I sell more.
Thanks for the call. Okay, so a little talk radio insider. If a caller makes you laugh, you get rid of them, right? End them on a high note. And that was a fine crank. Listen, Twitch callers, I don't know if that was one of y'all, but that is the call to emulate. I mean, the guy called in with something ridiculous, and it got more ridiculous as he went. He never had to say, a naughty word or something he can't get on the air. Like, that's it. You want to do a crank? There's your crank. Oh, it looks like you've got a pair of hair-lined gloves.
I believe these were rabbit fur when I bought them. I can't.
Let me take a feel.
For the listeners who can't view the video, we're passing around a glove that appears to be leather on the outside and rabbit fur on the inside.
I'm going to say it's rabbit fur.
I bought a pair of rabbit fur gloves at one point for a winter long ago, and I believe this is the pair that I just keep.
Well, if you didn't buy chinchilla gloves, then that's him.
I had cashmere and rabbit fur.
You don't have any idea what cashmere is, do you?
Wait, I was going to say, isn't cashmere rabbit
wool.
fur? Oh, it's wool.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but it was cashmere lined glove. That's not it.
That's not it.
Right.
No.
But I've had a number of other pairs of gloves. But the good gloves I bought a cashmere pair that I ran through because I did work and just put holes right in the cashmere.
Sure.
And then I replaced it with rabbit fur ones. But I've also got others like the thin slit gloves and whatever. But I just happen to have the rabbit fur ones.
It makes
in my
me
pocket.
jealous. I love those gloves. They
thin
look
slit?
like really comfortable. And I've always liked furs. They've really gone out of style.
Oh, bring it back. I will rock some fur with you, Mark.
I would absolutely do that. I love a fur coat. And I mean, to me, you're just talking. I mean, look, I get it. People don't eat chinchillas, but they eat rabbits.
Yeah, I've had rabbit.
It's
delicious.
They eat
Hassenpfeffer.
cows. They eat pigs. They eat goats. They eat sheep.
Standard fare.
Right? So, why waste this thing? I actually had somebody who at one point took I guess you could call them pelts from my pigs to make leather from, and otherwise, we were just going to have to dispose of it. So I was happy to give it to them.
Yeah.
And, maybe they ended up doing it. I never got to see any of the product or anything, but I felt good about that particular instance. It was the last time, by the way.
Use all the animals.
Well, rabbits are a survival food, right? Like the preppers will talk about, like, in an apocalypse situation, you want to have rabbits because, well, they breed like rabbits. But
I know.
You can get a disease from eating too much rabbit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but there's some sort of a thing.
It's not Hassenpfeffer.
No, but if you eat enough rabbit as like a staple of your diet, you can actually come down with some sort of a thing.
I know a certified cheapskate, and he says that chickens and rabbits make the most sense to sort of have on your own as far as their square footage, cost, and
what you have
time
to pay to
and
feed them
and all that stuff. The sort of cost-benefit analysis. Rabbits and chickens make the most sense.
Good to know.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450 free here on Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You will understand the true intent of the Founding Fathers when they wrote the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Chris Ann Hall, president of Liberty First University, doesn't simply regurgitate what some professor or expert has said about the Constitution. She relays the thoughts and opinions of those who wrote the documents. Her straightforward, passionate, easy-to-understand style lets anyone grasp the principles of liberty. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
Richie Rich.
And the captain.
And for those who are wondering where Ian is, no, we didn't tie him up and throw him in the broom closet.
Who's wondering?
He's also not tied up in the back of the trunk of my car.
Not happening. No. He, took a night off. He wanted to go with some friends and see, I guess, the 40th anniversary screening of Aliens or something.
Oh, cool. That's interesting.
Man. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Kidding. I wouldn't want to drive that far.
See, they invited you on without telling you that first.
I can go.
I was not given the choice. This is a fact. Yes.
I would stay home, and I would watch it on my television. I just don't have any. But you go if you love a movie, and some people invite you out to go see it. Go see it. Have a wonderful time.
I hope he's enjoying himself.
So I would rather see that. This is my problem with a lot of modern day cinema is a bunch of the remakes where the original holds up and is just as good. And if you want to introduce it to a new audience, to a younger audience that wasn't able to catch it the first time run in theaters, just re-release the original movie back in theaters, right? They're talking about like remaking The Princess Bride, and oh my gosh, the uproar.
No.
Right? You say no. But if you want to see that and have a theater experience, how do you do that now? Well, you got to re-release it in the theaters.
You would think something like Princess Bride, you could do a Rocky Horror kind of thing with.
You could,
right, yeah.
Right now. Admittedly, there are movies that you can't do that with.
That's inconceivable.
I love that glorious movie.
Yes.
But I shudder to think what it's going to be like. They better come with their A game if you're going to try to redo Princess Bride.
Or not do it. Just re-release it in theaters for a new
Storm
audience.
in the Castle.
Right. I mean, Mandy Patinkin, you just can't do this kind of thing again, I don't feel like.
There are plenty of movies that were made, we'll say, under budget or at least under popular, maybe sort of cult classic type of movies that deserve to be made with a proper budget and updated. I'm a big sci-fi fan. There was a movie called Damnation Alley with George Peppard and Jan Michael Vincent, where it was like post-apocalypse, and they survived, and they had to like hijack this military amphibious vehicle to like make it through the wasteland. That movie would be great as sort of like an updated, I'm thinking Road Warrior-ish type of a, sort of a thing with like a real budget and real actors, thrown at it, because the story was pretty good. It was put together hokily, if that's a word. I'm making up words here. With much
in
hoke.
A hokey,
it's a hokey movie
in a hokey manner. Here I am. Expect me to be the lame guy, right? Oh, I'm trying to actually tell you how to say this, but yours is much better. With much hoke.
Giant radioactive cockroaches and stuff like that.
Sure.
It's
a rubber cockroach they're shaking right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So
and I might have a better opinion if that's what they were doing. But that's not what they're doing. They're taking like the popular movies from, the 70s,
Well, they're
80s,
remaking
90s,
movies
and they're
that were
remaking it.
just put out like 15 years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
it's ridiculous.
That's dumb.
What about the Spider-Man reboots? I mean, these things.
That seems to be a licensing issue more than anything else.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, how many? The second one.
How many Jokers are we on now?
Yeah, a lot of Jokers.
One Joker movie. He's finally got his own thing. There's been a lot of him in Batman movies.
Well, he is the bad guy. He's not supposed to get his own movie. True. Now he's getting,
Yeah, are they going to follow that up with like The Penguin? Right?
Yeah, they did Suicide Squad.
I haven't seen the new Joker movie. I know it's getting panned, but that makes me want to see it more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like to beat Heath Ledger, you've really got to do something. I felt like that was the single best interpretation I've ever seen. Yes, if you love Jack Nicholson, I feel you. He's great in a lot of roles, and I loved him as the Joker, but Heath Ledger ate his lunch.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He was awesome in that role. And I hate Batman.
Whoa.
I hate the DC products. I hate them all. Now I've read.
Well, because you're a Marvel guy.
I am.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Have been for a long time. I worked at a comic book store. Yes, I bought some DC comics out there. Ronin's great. Watchmen's great. But that's not even a DC comic, really. It's a Charlton remake.
I like Batman, though, for a very specific reason. Because he doesn't have any superpowers.
Neither does Captain America.
Well, super juice.
He has super juice, but I mean, according to Marvel Universe's definition, that makes him an Olympic-level athlete. Captain America is an Olympic-level athlete already.
Okay. All right.
Batman's superpower is like Iron Man's superpower. He's rich.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I like Iron Man for the same reason, though.
Right. And Batman has bulletproof, cape, depending on how you make this. I don't know. Whatever. To me, I just don't get it. Somebody tells me Batman's more realistic. Then I'm like, then Captain America? How is, some kind of nationalistic jingoist with an impenetrable shield somehow less believable than an insane, mentally ill billionaire with a bulletproof cape? I mean, what? You can tell I've had this conversation before.
And I have not.
I'm a little bitter. But
awesome.
The Killing Joke and The Dark Knight, these are both incredible books. So Killing Joke is it's a Batman, but heavily Joker influenced. And then The Dark Knight has, it's a 4-book series. And, Batman fights Superman and the Joker's in there and just a whole bunch of stuff. And it's, these are some of the best books in comicdom. And DC really did get some of those really great stories. I felt like Marvel had in many of the early days, some of the best concepts. This concept of Ultron, which was trotted out in the Age of Ultron here, where sort of this, this intelligence, this artificial intelligence decides that the only way to deal with humanity is to wipe it out.
Yep.
And that was what Ultron's idea was. It wasn't about evolution. They must evolve. Like it wasn't. What's that? I can't remember the actor's name who played Ultron, but he's got a great voice, Spader. And it wasn't about that. Ultron wasn't trying to make man evolve. Ultron was trying to wipe man out.
Right.
Okay.
And that's an interesting position. It may be the most logical position to be had.
Well, that's a lot of fear when the concept or the talk about artificial intelligence comes up in general. It's that they will supersede and then realize humanity is the plague or the virus that needs to be eliminated.
What's going on in the dark recesses of your mind that makes you think that the best solution for man is being wiped out? And I mean, to me, that shows a philosophical bend that a person has. This is more or less what the greenies, the lefties, the eco warriors, and these kind of things are really trying to say. Ultimately, is that man's a plague,
right?
And we need to do something about it. And exactly what they intend to do about it, they're never entirely clear, but they know that the government can handle it.
And they themselves are part of that plague, which is what makes it so obtuse to me. I'm like, well, okay, but
they know better.
Part of that plague,
and I'm with them. I feel like I know better than many of my brethren, and on so many issues. I'm not above this kind of hubris, but.
But they go the other way, though, because they're not pushing artificial intelligence. They're not pushing technology that would lead to the robots that kill humanity. They want everyone to just regress with them.
There's this one meme out there that's like, well, what if we're wrong on global warming? We still get, if we try to stop it, we still get a bunch of positive things. We get cleaner air, cleaner water, all these things he's talking about.
Who could be against that?
Right, who could be against that? Well, dude, you're presuming the premise that the government can solve these problems. I mean, the organizational model that killed more people in the 20th century than any other cause. I don't mean than any other human cause. I'm talking about heart disease and smoking. They pale in comparison to the democide perpetrated by the state.
By orders of magnitude. I've seen the data on the, Hawaii.edu, right, on the democide.
Yeah.
And it's hard to read, right? Because it's all presented in statistical formula formats and spreadsheets and that kind of thing.
There are some,
but it's overwhelming.
There's some graphs. It's overwhelming, and then they also put famine as separate, as though famine in modern society occurs out in this vacuum where the state isn't involved. People are starving because their governments won't let them get fed,
right?
Because they're part of an ethnic group that government doesn't particularly like. So that ought to be added to the list. And, only the sort of liberals that would create a list like that wouldn't do it because, I just can't live without this organizational model. And, governments are starving people, too.
Absolutely.
Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
You've seen crazy diets to lose weight. At GCN Team, our healthy body weight loss system simply neutralifies the body, bringing down cravings. It has been proven that nutritional deficiencies drive appetite for carbs, sugars, and fats. Lose weight the easy way. Find us at gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Fighting cravings is a fool's game. Give the body what it needs to be satisfied. Again, 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Taheebo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus doesn't grow on. So it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, Taheebo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Taheebo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. That's shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. Shopsupertea.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of
where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Final segment. I might be able to get you in, so I'll just go ahead and give the numbers. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live, or the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com. It's Mark with you.
Richie Rich.
And the captain.
I'm going to go unscreened. Just didn't get to this in time to somebody claiming to be Pope Nobody.
Oh.
Pope Nobody, can you hear me now? You know, this is what happens. This is what I deserve for not having checked my audio ahead of time. And
this is the second time he's had trouble getting on the radio this week.
Well, you know, if it is in fact Pope Nobody, he's a computer specialist. So,
or perhaps it's actually nobody.
It is in fact nobody, right? Let's go to David. The reason I was willing to go to unscreened like that was because I did have a backup caller. So here we go. Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
I am Julio. He said Dick.
Do you need some TP?
For something?
Pardon? Excuse-moi, sir?
I believe Cornholio was famous for asking for a specific product for a specific biological area of his body.
You know, I didn't have the pleasure of getting to sit on the couch for that long, Stoner. So I didn't. I'm saying that nicely. I'm not trying to cut with that, but
like
I didn't
Scoob.
actually get to sit around and watch. Pardon?
I said, like, wow, Scoob.
You know,
yeah.
I have never seen a full episode of Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, I've got the DVD collection, man.
Well, I mean, you know, the whole time that this thing, Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead, the whole time this thing's happening, I'm in prison. You know?
Okay.
So,
That's a
like
good
the
excuse.
radio or something.
I mean, think how many movies I've missed.
Well, there's always time to catch up.
Well, I guess.
The thing with Beavis and Butthead is you can watch a full episode in like 7 minutes if you don't watch the music video interludes.
Fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's just sort of a...
it's a really short format,
okay,
interspersed with music videos because it was on MTV.
Go ahead, David.
But yeah, there was just all kinds of quality third grade material tonight. You know, big dicks, large dicks.
Hey, oh yeah, the sporting goods store, David.
Yeah, yeah.
Large stores, small stores.
Their logo is rather large.
And, you know, while I have never been in any dicks, I have been in a lot of vaginas. So I just wanted to.
There you go.
That.
But how many have been in you?
David, I have some questions for you. While you're on, I decided I have some questions. I think you're an expert in living frugally. And I want to get a little advice from you for sort of our listeners out there in how to pull this off. So, number one cost in life, housing. How do I cut my costs?
Yeah.
Don't have a house.
You go and buy a parcel of land where land is cheap, and you just pay it off. I mean, it costs. You can get a parcel of land for $1,000.
Yep.
I know somebody who got a couple acres for $300.
And a place, I presume, where you can, throw on the pumps and the drainage field, leach fields, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and if you are in a quite rural, quite third world type area, then things are way cheaper than other places because half the state may be living like that, and so therefore the zoning Nazis may not have the ability to go around and enforce every law that they might like to pass. Because if they did, they would have half of their citizens in their state might be out of housing. So
you're saying there's a cheaper way to do leach fields and stuff that there's just sort of a home way to do it.
Well, actually, you can do this anywhere. You don't even have to have a leach field other than where they might zone it. But you can compost. Nowadays, you can compost every bit of your waste, every bit of it. And I'm not, every bit of it. Your washing machine. Everything, you can do that, so that there is actually, if you had a leach field, there wouldn't be anything going into it because nothing escaped your home because everything was captured and reused or reduced or whatever.
Right, and I remember seeing a video with an accompanying article on how to wrap some copper tubing underneath your compost pile and attach that to a small solar powered pump that ran water to and from this copper tubing, and then it ran the water to what was that flooring, the little tubing that they use for heated floors underneath your PEX tubing.
Radiant, yeah.
And this created radiant heat for your house out of your compost, because the compost pile generates heat, and you put the copper tube under it, you just run a little bit of water to and fro, and it heats your house for
You should know how to compost before you try that.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
And
anyway.
Yeah, so obviously most pieces of property you buy aren't going to have a house on them. How do you solve that problem cheaply?
Well, once again, it depends on who you are, what your living preference is. But to answer your question in an average way, the easiest thing to do is to go shopping for a used manufactured home, which if you want to be really, 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 really cheap, you go looking for the 1980s single wide mobile homes that people will give to. They want them off the property.
Yeah.
And if you pay the $500 to have it moved, it's yours for free, and then you just do your handyman work to make it habitable, and you use that, and you have a free home.
Now, a single wide is, in many cases, like 75 feet long. It's a pretty big dwelling. I've seen people do, just campers and live in that for years.
Well, I'd say it depends on how big your family is, too. If it's just you can do a van, right?
Right,
if you got you, your wife, and a couple of kids.
It's not much fun ducking all the time, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you could. But, okay, so second highest cost is generally taxation. How do you handle that?
Well, depends on who you are. If you're living like this, you don't need much money. Your income is going to be so low that you're not even paying federal. You're lawfully not paying federal income tax.
If you're below $14,000.
Yeah, the property tax and your property tax is gonna be like $50 or $100 a year on a piece of property that was that low of a purchase price, and the same thing for the tax on your home. They actually have book values on that manufactured housing, and that's going to be about $25, $50 a year taxed on the structure.
Or if it's a mobile home, it's probably something there too, where if you can roll it, right? If you get a tiny home on wheels and it's not a fixed structure, you could probably save on that as well.
It could be if it's
right.
But once you have it on tires, then tires deteriorate. If you're talking about $25 in tax payment, you're better off jacking it up and ripping the tires off when they corrode than
replacing the tires.
Replacing the tires. I mean, tires are going to cost you, if it has 4 tires on it, you're going to be spending $800 or whatever.
Yeah, but every few years.
If I'm not mistaken, in most states, they have a legal difference between a mobile home and an RV.
Yep.
If you're in an RV, there is no property tax on the RV itself. So your only property tax in that situation would be the land itself.
You'd still run into the same tire problem in the RV, though, unless you were driving it and using it.
True.
Third largest cost, cars. How do you save on cars, David?
You do what I've done all my life, and you pay cash in full for your vehicle. So you drive whatever vehicle you have enough cash to cover. And the vehicle that I happen to be driving, I've been driving it for over a decade. I paid $500 for it. Ford Ranger with a topper. I paid $500 for it when I bought it. It's worth $500 now.
Yeah, right. That thing is not going to lose value. Now, do you turn a wrench on this vehicle yourself, or what do you? How do you do it? I mean, you've changed the oil. I can tell you that.
I would if I needed to. The only thing I've done to this vehicle in that period of time, which is actually about 12 years, was unbolt a starter and bolt a new starter in its place. That's the only thing that's been done to this vehicle. Besides the battery.
Starters can be difficult depending on where they're placed. Was it an easy one?
This one is very easy. This one is easy. It's 10 minutes off, 10 minutes on.
What year is your Ranger?
Yeah, how many miles too?
It's 92, and it's got 150,000.
Oh, so you don't drive much?
No.
Yeah.
I spent $13 on gas in one 6-month period, and actually in 2 different 6-month period, I spent basically $10, $20 in a year at my lowest usage.
So how are you getting groceries from the grocery store?
With my Ford Ranger.
How far is it?
To the grocery store, there's a expensive food source about 10 miles away. The Walmart is a 70-mile round
Wait a
trip.
second. How are you spending $20 a year on fuel and going that far?
Just buy non-perishables.
Because I only go like twice a year.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I'm sorry. I think of going to the grocery store. I think of going at least twice a week.
A can of beans lasts a long time.
Indeed it does. Yeah. David, thank you for your time tonight on this. Appreciate it.
Yep.
It's nice to know how to live frugally, and you can talk to all kinds of different folks at discord.freetalklive.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? 1? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,488, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,238. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you.